This is 1 kilogram of Lego, and this is 100 kilograms of Lego. In this video we bought and broke down over 100 kilograms of Lego, just to build a massive Lego cube, create an entire Lego city, dig through it for cool hidden stuff and restore more than 50 different Lego sets. We're gonna clean, sort and organize every single brick and at the end, see if you can actually make money flipping bulk Lego. Okay, but first of all, we need to actually get all that Lego. Chances are, you're not gonna find anyone selling 200 pounds of mixed Lego in one shot. So, we spent a few weeks hunting down the best deals and ordering box after box, one at a time. Now that we've got all our Lego here, let's check if it's really 100 kilos or about 220 pounds. We weighed every single box, and turns out it's even a bit more. Once you subtract the packaging and random junk, we're left with right around 100 kilograms of pure Lego. Okay, so we've got 9 boxes of Lego in total, 3 big ones and 6 smaller. Which means we're kicking things off with the biggest box first. Right on top there are more than 20 green base plates, each with these really weird drilled holes. And the rest of the box is filled with sealed bags of new Lego bricks.
I have no idea who gathered so many of these. It's like they just grabbed them or even stole from some sets.
Almost every bag is different, and the bricks inside rarely repeat. And even crazier, they're all 100% original Lego. I've never seen this many Lego bricks in one place, and at first it feels like you could build anything out of them, but pretty quickly you realize not really. Most of the pieces are almost identical, so no matter how hard you try, you're stuck building the same basic shapes. Nothing too creative, unfortunately. Still, there was one childhood dream we could finally try, building the tallest Lego tower ever, and maybe even reach the ceiling.
Nope.
Also, I thought it was a great idea to build a massive Lego cube. Honestly, I thought this would take way less time. But in the end, half a day of work turned into this, a massive Lego block. It barely fits in my hands. And weighs a massive 25 pounds. Solid, chunky and kinda beautiful.
Just imagine making a bunch of these to build an entire house of Lego.
But that's not the end of our Lego journey. Actually, it's just getting started. Seems like this massive box has a lot more surprises waiting inside.
Wow! It's a bike!
Especially since there was a fully built Lego Ducati sitting right on top.
But it's not an original Lego, just another constructor with Lego items.
Okay, maybe not that exciting after all. The rest of the box turned out to be a total mix of random Lego pieces. Everything from train tracks and Lego City to Technic parts and even electronics.
And also here is a Lego cup.
A really nice looking one, but sadly not practical at all. Definitely not tea-friendly. So, the only thing left to do is dump it all out. Let's see what we've got and start sorting through it piece by piece. For now, we're picking out the wheels and all the Lego Technic parts.
Oh, it's a brick separator.
And anything less interesting goes straight back into the box. A lot of pieces turned out to be knockoff Lego, and some pieces weren't Lego at all.
But it's not Lego, it's something different.
But still, there were plenty of cool finds. Some parts came from the same sets, so we started putting those aside too. Plus some minifigs and a few unique, oversized pieces. By the way, not many people know this, but every Lego piece has its own unique code. If you enter that code or just take a photo of the part, the website will show you where and when it was used. This airplane cockpit, for example, came from just one single set, which means the rest of the pieces should be somewhere nearby. We even tried rebuilding those sets, figuring out what parts we were missing. But yeah, spoiler, didn't really work out. Too few right pieces, buried in way too much chaos.
Trallallero, trallalla.
So, from this box we ended up setting aside 7 different containers. Those half-complete sets, wheels, train tracks, a bunch of minifigures, Lego Technic parts, brick separators and one full container of random weird stuff. We tried putting the tracks together, but turns out we've got nothing to actually run on them. From the entire pile, we only found this one train piece. As for Lego Technic, we've got nearly a full Ducati motorcycle. Sadly, it's not worth much. But what is worth a lot is the rest of the parts we found, including some electronics, a battery box, a switch, a motor and 2 pullback motors. We also ended up with an entire box of brick separators, every kind you can imagine. Blue ones, orange ones, clear ones, off-brand ones, even a
Bombardiro crocodilo.
ones.
And this is the most interesting box, full of different stuff that we couldn't fit into any other category. For example, this Lego rocket.
Lego animals, fish, some large body parts, and a few just plain unique pieces. And finally, a whole box of bricks, untouched for now, but we've definitely got plans for it later. The next box was small, but surprisingly heavy. Makes sense though, instead of light Lego bricks, it was packed full of Lego instruction manuals from all kinds of sets. City, Technic, Creator and even Ninjago. Some of those sets we'd already seen, partly built or even complete, but whether that's just a coincidence, no idea.
Oh, and here is from that big set. But it's even just a half an instruction, so I don't think we'll made up this ship altogether.
And whether we'll find the rest of those sets later, also unclear. What is clear though, our hands were now absolutely filthy. Either from the dust or maybe the ink from those manuals, so for now we set it aside. Hopefully we'll find the matching sets later on. Then we found 2 bags full of minifigures and 1 box.
And what?
With what looks like a maxi minifig, or whatever you'd call this thing. Only part of the set was built, seems like someone just didn't finish the rest. Which is fine by us, we'll do it ourselves. Honestly, I had no idea Lego even made sets like this, and the best part? It comes with a tiny version of the big guy. Arms, legs, head, it all moves, and under the cap there's even a full control room, with a tiny Lego guy inside piloting the whole thing. Cool set, no doubt, but my assistant doesn't think it's worth almost $100. Says he could build something even better, using just regular parts. Well, good luck with that. And while he's putting together his own Frankenstein, we moved on to the rest. Here we have even more minifigures. Feels like there's around 300 of them and a ton of really unique ones too. We decided to line them all up into one big Lego army. There's a bit of everything here. Regular figs, themed ones, superheroes and even some Minecraft characters. But one figure was off to the side, just lying there on its own. Looks rare and maybe even expensive. And for some reason I swear I've seen it before, but I just can't figure out who it's supposed to be. If you've got any guesses, drop them in the comments, and for now we'll let him chill right here. And actually, these minifigs have a whole economy of their own. I didn't think they'd be that expensive, but turns out some can go for $30, $50 or even a couple $100. Right after the minifigs, we found this Lego bin, and at the very bottom, there were 10 brand new still sealed Lego sets hiding inside. There's just one thing, each one is literally the size of a palm. Personally, I really like these tiny sets. For one, they're quick to build, so you don't get bored halfway through. And two, you can find them pretty much in any supermarket.
And also I love that you can put this kind of Lego together without any instructions. It's a bit more challenging, but much more interesting. And also you can use your imagination.
So we built a couple of them and left the rest untouched, still sealed up. Alright, let's open box number 4.
Oh, Lego City!
First thing we saw, even more Lego sets. Some were still in packaging, some weren't, and then a whole bunch of custom-built Lego City houses. But that's still not all.
What? Here are some more instructions.
At the bottom of the box we found almost the same amount of instruction manuals. And a box with a very old Lego Technic set from 1996. we'll set that aside for now and focus on what's already on the table. So, besides the manuals, this box had everything LEGO City related: cars, roads, trees, minifigs, building parts, and even this chocolate ice cream. Looks like someone was trying to build a full-on city out of all this. And since they didn't finish it, we will. We decided to turn everything from the box into a LEGO city, starting with a police station. These were always my favorite kind of sets as a kid. The more stories you could act out, the better. So one police station clearly wasn't gonna be enough. Since we've got roads and houses, might as well build a whole neighborhood.
Hey! You can build the new police station. Take them in, get the confession, and lock them up in the prison block. Hey!
From that box, we also had this shark left over. Plus a bitten Minecraft mini set. The shark, as far as I can tell, isn't official LEGO. Though the idea and mechanism are actually kind of cool, but in terms of build quality, yeah, not really great.
While trying to fix something in one part, something is already broken in another part, so...
The whole thing falls apart from just a light breeze. But the crushed creeper and ocelot turned out to be a surprise. Even though the box looked rough, the set inside was brand new. No one had built it yet. We finished it in about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, my assistant finished his Frankenstein. And honestly, I think it turned out pretty solid. Sure, it's not the original, but it looks really close. The arms, legs and head all move. And there's even a little control room inside. Apparently this guy's picking up shifts as a miner too. He's even got a headlamp on his forehead. The only issue is... he's super fragile. But that's just how it goes. As for the manuals, turns out we ended up with around 100 of them. Though I did mess up a bit there, I counted every booklet and some sets come with 2 or 3. Still, that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of them, and the mystery definitely isn't over yet.
And I still have hope that all of those sets are sitting in those boxes we haven't opened yet, even though it's already physically impossible.
And to cut to the chase, we're opening the biggest box right away. If those missing sets aren't in here, then they're probably nowhere to be found.
And what should we do with all this stuff?
Well, just as I suspected, the sets are here. But there are 2 big problems. First, most of them are either fully or partially disassembled. And second, there's just so many of them that we had to move down to the floor. And to even have a chance at restoring all of these, we invited Sasha from the Bricksper channel, a real LEGO expert who's seen more bricks in his life than we could ever dream of. Our mission now is to join forces and try to restore everything we found in this box. First, we laid out all the instruction manuals on the floor and started hunting for anything that looked like it might belong to one of the sets. Some parts we picked out by eye, some Sasha instantly recognized, and some we just grabbed on pure luck. But after a couple of hours, we slowly started piecing together nearly 20 sets. Some were easy to rebuild right on the spot, others had barely any trace at all.
Pow! And that's only less than a half of the box.
And then things got serious. Around 20 kilos of LEGO parts, all from different sets, were completely scattered, which meant we had only one option: search again and again and again. The 4 of us spent the entire day digging through it all.
Where it can be from, you know? Maybe Lego Technic? Maybe Ninjago?
And just when we thought that was enough, we opened another box of sets. This one had the biggest ones inside. Some of them were even working. Well, almost working. All in all, it was a long, exhausting, but seriously fun process. The next day, we finally started assembling the sets we had sorted out. The first thing I built was this remote-controlled off-roader. I think I had something similar as a kid. But this one's probably a bit older. Some of us were building planes and rockets, others were on trains and Technic. And piece by piece the sets started coming together. Some were easy, some much harder. And a few had to be built entirely from scratch, using just the instructions and matching parts. And after 2 full days of this, we were so deep into it, it felt like the entire world was made of Lego. But in the end, we did it! We ended up with exactly 30 complete Lego sets. Sure, not all of them are perfect, we just couldn't find every missing piece. But every set works and each one is built as completely as possible. There were a couple more sets we couldn't finish at all, and a massive pile of loose bricks. We spent another half a day sorting those, but eventually turned them into this nice clean parts warehouse. So now let's take a look at what we spent all that time and effort on. The simplest and honestly least interesting sets, in my opinion, were the LEGO City and Creator ones. They don't really do anything, but somehow they can still cost quite a bit. Next up, 4 Ninjago and Harry Potter sets. These are more for fans and sometimes they can be really valuable, but sadly not in our case. Now these tiny LEGO Technic sets. That's my personal favorite series. Cause it's quick and fun to build, and the sets are always playable with cool and often unusual functions. They were also some of the easiest to restore, but of course they're also the cheapest. 6? Or wait, no, 7 out of our 30 sets were medium-sized Technic builds. By the way, just to be clear, all the prices we're using are on the low side, factoring in wear and missing parts. These mid-sized builds had even more fun features. Some had steering, others had engines, suspension systems. And a few even had remote control drives. But the real standout for me was the LEGO train system. This was actually my first time ever dealing with LEGO trains. We managed to put together 2 full remote-controlled trains and an entire box of tracks in all kinds of shapes. Straight, curved crossings and switches. We combined them all into one big layout. Sure, I've seen even bigger builds online, but for me, this one already felt massive. As a kid, I couldn't have imagined building a railway this big. And since I'd never worked with LEGO trains before, a lot of it was totally new to me. Like, I didn't know the trains have 20 speeds, 10 forward and 10 in reverse. Or that all the wagons are interchangeable and connect with magnets, so you can build one huge mega train. One engine isn't enough to pull that kind of weight, so you need to power up 2, one pulling, one pushing, just like in real trains. You can run both trains at once and wait for the inevitable crash. Or you can build a long straightaway, hook up 2 engines and test the police station for structural durability. Honestly, this thing was insanely cool. And so far, it's definitely the best find out of all the boxes. A setup like this LEGO railway is hard to price exactly, but judging by similar listings, it'd go for somewhere between $150 and $200. By the way, yes, we're keeping track of everything, and you'll see the full breakdown soon. We've still got 4 of the biggest and most interesting sets left, though for some reason almost all of them came in really rough shape. Not only did they take forever to rebuild, they were also dirty, dusty and seriously beat up by life. And since these sets are worth more than all the others combined, we decided to restore them properly. First step, blasting away years of dust, for which a high-pressure air compressor at a car wash is perfect. It even gets deep into those closed-off spots inside the builds. Next up, full-on LEGO detailing. While we were still at the wash, my assistant already had a LEGO cleaning station set up and running. The process is simple. First we foam the sets with active cleaning foam. It seeps into every little gap. Then we go in with brushes, paint brushes, cloths, and only after that, rinse everything down with clean water. At the end, to get rid of extra moisture, we heat the builds with compressed air again. But of course, they still need time to fully dry. The last one, a Volvo excavator, wasn't just dirty, it was broken. The pneumatic system hoses were bent and started leaking air, either from age or damage. Someone had wrapped them with tape, but that didn't really help. Underneath the tape, we found the tubes completely torn. The only real fix was to connect them using these little extender parts. Done! Now the whole set works perfectly, fully functional, cleaned up like new and back to doing what it's meant to do. And finally, it's time to talk money. When we add up the value of those last big sets, plus the railway and the smaller builds, the total for just the last 2 boxes is already enough to completely cover everything we spent on LEGO. The restored sets from just this part are worth over $1,000. And that's without even counting everything that came before. Meanwhile, here's what our LEGO pile looks like so far. Roughly 15 kilos of loose bricks, 10 kilos of sorted parts, and another 10 of completely mixed pieces. Plus minifigures, unique bits, and 30 fully built sets. But, in case you forgot, we started with 9 boxes, which means 3 are still unopened. We did pick inside those 3 in advance and set them aside, because all of them are full of
LEGO Technic!
Not full sets this time, just bags of parts. The tiniest LEGO Technic parts.
But that's not all. That's all.
If you didn't know, LEGO Technic is a special LEGO series that swaps out regular bricks for more complex elements, axles, gears, connectors, and even motors. And with them you can build literally anything, from cars and cranes to insanely detailed models. But in our case, it only makes things harder. There are tons of parts all mixed together, and on top of that they're absolutely filthy. So before we even think about building anything, let's clean this all up first. So we've got a massive pile of dirty LEGO Technic. And our goal is to clean it up as fast as possible. And trust me, we tried every method out there. From scrubbing it by hand in the sink to throwing it in the dishwasher, even the washing machine. Some of those actually worked, but they took forever. So here's what we came up with instead. We take a giant container, around 100 liters, and fill it with water and detergent. Then we grab a mesh basket like this, load it up with Lego and clean it mechanically using pure friction. Once it's scrubbed, we toss it into a salad spinner like this one, dry it off and dump it onto a blanket to finish air drying. All that's left is to repeat this process about 100 times. Along the way we made a few tweaks to the setup, but the idea stayed the same, and just look how filthy the water got each time. Well, at least we managed to turn a mountain of dirty Lego into a mountain of clean Lego. But now came the harder part. With the help of a couple of friends, we started sorting every last Technic part into categories. I'm not even gonna mention how long that took. Because by that point we had officially crossed into week 2 of filming. But on the bright side, now we've got 30 kilos of clean, perfectly sorted Lego Technic. Once everything was neatly sorted into containers, that mountain of Lego turned into endless possibilities. First thing that caught our eye, the wheels. We had a whole container just for them. In fact, there's over 10 kilos of wheels in this video alone. We picked out the best ones from biggest to smallest and ended up with around 200 wheels. From the electronics pile we pulled out this little unit. Inside it's got 2 motors, a controller and a battery pack. We added all-wheel drive, powered it up, connected it to a phone, slapped on some wheels and boom, we had ourselves a working Lego truck. Still not getting it? Yep, we decided to build the longest Lego car in the world. A few hundred connectors, a few hundred wheels and a few hours of work later. While we were building it, all we kept thinking was, is this truck even gonna pull that much weight? In the end, we had a Lego car with about 150 wheels and it actually moved. The only issue, this plastic noodle is nearly 6 meters long and we've got nowhere in the apartment to properly drive it. So yeah, hopefully none of you have seen anything like this before, otherwise we wasted a ton of time and effort for 5 minutes of driving. Now let's talk about this little Lego piece that looks like a regular brick, but it's called a shooter, and the name makes sense. Cause when you press down on this little rod, a spring launches a projectile. So, why am I telling you this? Because from the entire Technic pile, we managed to pull around 100 shooters and almost as many darts. A while ago, I saw a crazy build online that used a whole bunch of these, and back then getting this many shooters was just not realistic. But now, no problem. I honestly have no idea what to even call this thing, but it looks insanely cool. And it's super satisfying to mess with. But if you think that's all it does, nope. If you stick something the right size inside, you get a full salvo blast from all the shooters at once. And while we were goofing around with that, our assistant Vlad wasn't wasting time either. Using the same Technic parts, he built a full-on walking robot. Also remote controlled, but instead of rolling like most sets, this one actually walks. Lego Technic really gives you unlimited room to create whatever you want. And even with everything we've already shown, that's nowhere near all the things you can do with 100 kilos of Lego. So, we crunched the numbers, and it turns out we more than got our money back. In fact, we made it back 1.5 times over. After that, we sorted everything one more time and packed it all neatly into boxes. And that's how it went. So, next time we're buying 200 kilos of Lego,